All right, hey guys, Dr. Ben from UpDoc Media. Just wanted to do a follow-up lab just because one of our case studies from our business renovations series got really popular this week, and it was titled "Attracting or How to Attract and Keep Top Talent." And the general premise was this: as I was doing some research in this space, just from one of the things that we do at Doc Media, I found some really interesting facts surrounding not just healthcare, but just human resources, talent management, human capital at large for 2016, particularly in the U.S. job market, but also the global trends. So, in addition to what I mentioned in the case study, come 2020, Generation X and Generation Yers, our millennial generation, they're going to represent over 70% of the workforce. Right now as it is, it's already a huge majority. And as we approach this peak in just about 5 more years, 4 more years really, because we're almost at the close of 2015, if you can believe that, it's going to change the way human resources and managers, hiring managers, and just the way we process, the way we promote and reward our employees for the work that they do and how we attract them and keep them around. Because the truth is this, just as a quick revisitation, most companies in the United States exist in the 200 and less number of employees, and there's increasing less as you get up to 10K, which is stratification. But the fact is that you get about 15% turnover annually for the average company. And if you're not experiencing that, well, get ready because there's a regression to the mean, right? Eventually, companies will experience this. And more than that, the average cost of any kind of turnover and replacement is 30% of the annual salary of the position you're trying to replace. And so if the median rather pay for an employee in the United States is in the 50,000 range, you're spending 15,000 replacing this person. And it of course gets higher and higher and higher with increasing levels of responsibility, supervisor, manager, district or regional manager, vice president, etc. It just gets higher and higher. It gets truly uncontrollable. And the worst part is the time. You never get the time back, right? If you have a slot to fill, if you can't staff it immediately, you'll have to staff it through some type of staffing or temp agency, and that costs a lot more money. Typically, it's about overtime or times two for your typical pay grade that you're trying to replace until you replace them. And a lot of times, those people hire in because you already know them and they're kind of trained already in the space. But if you're an average company, say you have 200 employees, right, and you have a 15% turnover, and that costs you $15,000 a year, you're dealing with almost $500,000 of replacement costs, and that's something that companies just can't continue to afford, especially since millennials and Gen Xers have known this for a long time. If you quit strategically or change strategically to your job or companies or positions, or you transfer, you end up getting more money over time. In early 2014, Forbes published an article where people that stay at their job for more than 2 years actually stand to lose 50% increase in compensation, both in opportunity as well as in time, depending on your circumstance. And I've seen that repeatedly just in the work I do be true. People that get out of school, they get paid pretty low right out of school, and then they take a new job somewhere else because it pays better, and so on and so forth. And the people that keep moving tend to make more money, and they're more engaged as well. So the reason I wanted to follow up on this is, if you liked this case study, and be it that you're an employee, a manager, an employer, a business owner, or even a student, wherever you are, the fact of the matter is it's important to spread this around. I know that I'm best known in healthcare and physical therapy directly. And so, if you're a student or an intern or a resident or a new grad or a fresh PT, it's worthwhile to gently share this with your colleagues and with your managers and your CIs, and your other, collegial students if you're still a student, because this is going to only benefit everybody. This case study isn't about trying to get everybody paid better. This case study is about making the job market more valuable for both supply and demand, because that's usually where businesses and business ecosystems face the best gain of returns is when the best business arrangement for all parties involved are met. It's that Nash equilibrium that is very popularized from A Beautiful Mind, right? It's whatever is best for the group and the individuals collectively. That is going to be the best outcome for the whole ecosystem. And this follow-up really is, I want to encourage you that, if you're a hiring manager and you are stuck on certain, corporate values and corporate policies, it may be a good idea to utilize this case study as, just a little foot in the door to start changing that up, be a little bit more flexible and see what you can do to retain talent. Because if not, you are going to incur so much loss on your cost center. If you're a business owner, it's a good idea to start looking at value-based compensation to your employees, offer some opportunities for upward mobility and for leadership. The better they do, the better you'll do, because their success is your success, right? The old days of trying to just minimize pay all over to up the margins is gone. There's too much price transparency and cost transparency in our information age to be able to play that game, because people will call you out. You're underpaying people. We're leaving. And if you're a student or a new grad, or you're on that lower totem pole, you're on the receiving end of the job market because you're desperate to get something, or you're just happy you got something, period. I want to empower you. There's a lot of information out there, and that's part of what this case study was about. Is I wanted all parties across this human capital ecosystem to realize that it's no longer about just cost containment and compensation packages that minimize the cost of your business and boost your margins. It's about growth. It's about professional growth, company growth, and culture growth, so that there's more value to be offered both on the supply and the demand end, right? There's so much talk about, in 2016, there's be an impossibility to staff for physical therapists, particularly in home health. Well, how are you going to staff unless you compensate them well and you offer them the opportunities that they're looking for both personal and professional growth? And this is just a theme across all the industries, especially in tech, right? Because these young kids are coming out of school and they're doing things that we've never even heard of before. And they probably did that before they even got into college. They were hacking it away, as high schoolers or even younger. And so the talent is out there, and it's our job as business owners, as managers, executives, human resource specialists. We need to attract these folks and we need to retain them, or we're going to lose them to the competition. And ultimately, what you're going to have is a poor team, right? If you don't have the talent on your team, eventually your depth is going to get shallower and shallower until it basically doesn't matter. And you're going to get overrun by other teams that have much more talent, much more professional growth, much more capabilities and capacities to be agile, to be moving, to develop very, very quickly. And they're going to chase you out of the market just by, human capital muscle alone. So, take a look at this case study again. I'll link it on Twitter and I'll link it on the UpDoc Media Facebook. It's called How to Attract and Keep Top Talent. The URL might say something like Case Study Attracting and Keeping Top Talent. But that is a huge focus right now in business. Is if you're not also focusing on how you can gather your human resources for this coming decade in 2020, you are losing your battle right now. If you haven't started yesterday, you have to play catch up. And you have to play catch up fast, because the people that you're hiring now are going to be your leaders of tomorrow. And those leaders are going to attract more talent to follow them in their footsteps, and so on and so forth. By 2020, what you've done today is merely a result of the strategies you've implemented now. So just a quick follow-up vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be doing a lot more blabs just to post on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe. We're growing that out as another media wing of UpDoc Media, and we'd love to stamp that URL on YouTube. So subscribe and help us out there. I really appreciate it. And of course, any questions or concerns, you can always tweet us, message us on Facebook. You can email me at ben@updocmedia.com, and find me at Twitter at Dr. Ben Fung. And you know how I am. I'm on your side. I'm a resource. So all questions are game. So that's it. See you later.